Hello and welcome to the Mortal Kombat Minute, the podcast where we analyze, criticize, and memorialize the 1995 film Mortal Kombat, one questioning minute at a time. I'm Phil Casper from philcasper.net.
I'm Spanish from GameFixShow.com.
And we are on episode number 23. This minute starts with Sonya Blade asking Johnny Cage if she looks like his secretary, and ends with Johnny asking what's going on and Lou shrugging.
Yes.
What is
this
going on? This
was a funny minute. I think some of the comedy that we've been kind of talking about throughout the movie happens in this minute in particular, and I think you know what I'm talking about as far as that goes.
Definitely.
Before we do that, let's talk. Okay, so obviously, it shows Sonya and Johnny Cage sitting in the boat, kind of together, and she's trying to get her radio to work.
Right, and Johnny asks, "Well, while you're on that, why don't you try and get a hold of my agent?"
Yes.
This was in the previous minute.
Right.
And so we're chiming in right after he asked that question, and Sonya just looks back at him at disbelief.
Yeah.
And do you have the line?
Yeah, pretty much all she said is, "Do I look like your secretary?" Like that, and he was like, like whatever.
She just says it like, "I can't believe you. Do I honestly look like your secretary? Come on now."
Yeah. Well, right after that, the cool thing about it is we actually see the longboats, the actual like rowboats, kind of coming up to the shore. Which is cool because we only saw them from a far distance, and now we actually get to kind of see them up close and see how they look. And I gotta tell you, I'm impressed by the way they look. They did a really good job on these boats.
Yeah, I am as well. Like, and so many boats as well. But granted, I think they repurposed the boats because these were the boats that were also carrying the crew back and forth between the island.
Right.
So they were making as much use of these boats as possible. And we do get a much better shot of the boats, and something that I didn't notice before. Maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention until I started doing it minute by minute. Is that all of our heroes are all in the same boat? I thought they may have been in different boats.
Oh yeah.
So Johnny and Sonya were like, if in the middle of this wide shot of all the boats coming to shore, Johnny and Sonya are in the front of the boat that's in the center of the shot, and Lou is actually sitting near the back of that boat. So I never noticed that before. I thought that was just a neat little thing.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I mean, it's weird that they did that. Obviously, when it came to them traveling from the ship to where they are now, they kind of became acquaintances. I wouldn't even go as far as saying friends yet, but acquaintances. So maybe it was just more of a comfortability thing. I don't know. Who knows?
Right. And I couldn't spot Art Lean. I didn't know where he was in any of those boats, unfortunately.
Well, we do know that there were, according with all these people, that means there were a lot of people on those boats or on that ship that apparently they were there. Maybe they just all went to bed. Maybe so. I don't know what kind of what kind of rooms are on that ship, but
I don't know how many levels there are in the ship. Like,
it wasn't that big of a ship. But they finally get on the beach, so they're on the island, and then we get this long shot with all these flags. I don't even know what you would call them. Pole banners.
Yeah, banners, something like that.
Yeah, pole banners. And all the way down, like it's a long shot. So I would say 200 feet, 300 feet.
Sure.
Roughly.
Long way.
If you
know down the beach.
Yeah, if you notice, and that's something that I kind of laughed at. There's a guy with a podium.
Yes, he's like the guy. Like, I guess he has like a quill pen, and
signing people in.
Yeah, like, okay, Johnny Cage. Okay,
here.
Sonya. Okay,
he's checking tickets. Ticket,
please.
Ticket, please.
No.
Yeah, but he's there, and but they don't do anything with him. But he's just there. He has a bunch of papers, and he's kind of flipping through it. Whatever. Yeah. So, how do you? Anything you want to say about that?
Not necessarily anymore. The podium guy. He did have a speaking role in the special features on the DVD, on the Blu-ray version. Sorry.
Oh my God, hit me. What did he say?
Oh, he was just trying to explain what the island was, and
Oh,
basically
really?
and just being a little bit more, but still being vague, saying, you know what, you'll find this out later.
Like a town crier, if you
Yeah,
will.
unfortunately, I didn't think enough to write down exactly what he said. I just
No,
remember
that's
he had a
okay.
speaking line.
But that's interesting. I'm glad that that's even a thing.
Yeah, and there, like, and during this shot too, there's, for some reason, this guy jumps out at me. He has this incredibly bright orange duffel bag, and it's been distracting me the entire minute.
Oh yeah.
Whenever I rewatch this, I'm like, I never noticed that before. But
I mean, you say what you want about that, but that guy's smart because he knows where his luggage is. He can quickly pull it out when it comes to the luggage.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's no.
I was about to say, it's like when you have, like, the tie-dye luggage thing or whatever that you throw onto the
right. Exactly.
Onto the cart after you get off the airplane. It's like, oh, that's my bag.
Well, speaking of luggage, then we get a close-up shot of Johnny Cage struggling to get out of the boat because he has all the luggage with him. And this is where that comedic second, if you will, comes into play.
Yep.
And
he's holding 7 bags. He's holding 7 bags.
Yeah, two of which are what do you call it? Like probably like suits.
Yeah, like long, like suit bags that fold in on itself, clothing bags that you can just hang up whenever you get to your hotel room.
Yeah. And then the rest just big boxes of luggage, and well, and the comedic moment is when he tries to step off. Not only does he step off, but he does a face plant right into the water, carrying all the luggage.
And leading right up to that moment, though, if you look at the seconds before, like just the people that are sitting in the boats behind, they're just kind of looking like through their hoods, like, is this guy serious?
Yeah.
Is he really?
Well, the best part about it is the actual guy, after he falls in the water, if you notice all those guys wearing those robes, none of them look.
In the boat themselves,
it's like they don't care, whatever.
The guys in the boat with Johnny, but the ones behind him were just curious, like, look at this guy.
Well, let me go ahead and say, I would imagine, because we don't see the beings' faces with these robes,
right?
I would imagine they'll probably the extras from prior scenes, the monks. I would imagine. That's what I'm getting at. Although I did a little research and obviously we do that. But what I found is that those hooded people are actually shadow priests.
Okay, so that's what I thought the previous minute.
So I think I've confirmed that, actually.
So they are actually shadow priests,
and actually we will see them again eventually.
Yes. At an undisclosed minute, time, and location.
Because I don't know which minute it is, but I promise you, when we get to it, I will mention it.
Yeah, we'll go a little bit more in depth in the Shadow Priest then. But I would but that just hit me as well. I'm like, wait a second, these guys look familiar.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm thinking. Because keep in mind, the monks didn't have their hoods up, so maybe I don't know. I'm just going on what I see, and I'm guessing they probably reused, because obviously they reused the boats, they reused. It makes sense.
Yeah, you got to save money where you can when it comes to this type of production. So then after Johnny Cage gets a little waterlogged, we then move over back onto the beach with Sonya just throwing away her radio.
Oh yeah,
thinks it's a piece of crap.
And actually, she says, I actually have the line. You ready?
Oh yeah, with Liu coming up from behind.
Yeah. She's like, she just throws it, and then Liu Kang says, "What are you doing?" And she says, the electrical disturbance last night must have blown out the transistors, which is funny because she still doesn't believe that Raiden is a being, and that wasn't, you know what I mean?
Right.
She still doesn't believe it. But then, of course, Liu Kang goes, your radio's fine. He says, look at your compass, as she opens up her watch, has a compass in it, and it's just spinning.
Just spinning in a circle. And I love, and this is like a second comedic moment for me, when it shows a shot of Liu and Sonya again, and Liu's just gesturing like, see, I told you, it's fine. Because whenever I first saw that, I'm like, but that's broken too, Liu, what's going on? But I'm like, wait, hold on, is Liu playing like, like he's come to like the realization that Raiden is real. Like Raiden is, this deity. So so maybe he knows that we're not in Earthrealm anymore. We're
Right.
like, so of course it like this equipment isn't going to work. It's perfectly operational, but it's not going to work because we're not at Earthrealm anymore.
Right.
So I'm wondering what if that's why he's gesturing like, see, I told
Yeah,
you it's fine.
I would say you're right. I'd say Liu Kang is definitely a believer at this point. I mean, he on the boat. I think that should have told us, because he told who it was, and he was just like a matter of fact about it. So yeah.
And one additional note about this location, this set, and actually I had it written down, but it's no longer written down.
Oh no.
Oh no. Where'd it go? Did I accidentally delete it? I had the name of the beach. Oh gosh. Oh my.
Well, here,
gosh.
while you look that up,
Thank you.
I did a little research on those flags.
Okay.
So there was Japanese or Chinese. I wasn't really sure which is which, but I have a friend that can roughly translate, and I threw it to her and I said, "Hey, what do you think? What does this say?" And she said that she can translate the first 3 in Japanese. So like the top, there's 4 of them. So and they're all the same if you notice. The top one is drive. The middle one is festival. The third one is along. At least that's what she's translated roughly.
Okay. So roughly,
and that's in Japanese. And then she told me that apparently, and this I did not know. Apparently, Japanese and Chinese letters are the same. Well, roughly, but the difference is this is what we're looking at. If it's Japanese kanti, I could be wrong. I could be mispronouncing it. But
Kanto.
Is it Kanto? Kanti? Okay.
Yeah,
those are individual words. If it was Chinese, all 4 of those symbols come out to catastrophic. There you have it.
Interesting.
Which still doesn't mean anything as far as I'm concerned, as far as what we're looking at. Although it could mean something totally different. She was roughly translating, but that's what she came up with. She lives in Japan, so I would kind of like trust her in this case.
Interesting. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I too asked my friend by the name of Google, and the signs, it translated to a few different terms for me from Chinese. That one time I got fatally. Another one was team fate, and the third one was double life. I don't know. I'm probably I'm trusting your translation more.
I mean, yeah, like that. That's kind of okay. That's interesting. I would love to actually hear someone that knows exactly what it is and can be like, oh, that's blah blah blah. But
because I assume like with what you were it was like drive, festival,
along
like this way to the festivities or something.
Sure.
Like that's what I think the signs would mean.
Yeah.
Or at least where they would be pointing to. But
I guess that kind of makes sense because it was right off the boat and it's leading towards the steps, which now we got to get to that. But before we do that,
and thanks for buying some time there because I finally remember the name of the beach. It's Raleigh Beach in Thailand. Raleigh.
Okay.
Raleigh. Raileey. Sorry. But yeah, and so Sonya looking back at Liu Kang after he's like, well, hey, see, I told you it worked.
Yeah, look at your compass. Yeah.
And Johnny Cage is like all waterlogged, dripping wet, like just waddling into the frame.
Waddling
into the frame. And Sonya asks him, where the hell are we?
And this is exactly what he should have answered, because if you remember just a couple of seconds ago, she said, do I look like your secretary? And of course, Cage, with his little quip, if you will, just said, do I look like your travel agent?
So he's just having none of it. Fine. Yeah. And then she leaves.
Yep.
Oh man. And
of course, then at that point, Johnny Cage then says, okay, I give up. What's going on? He's done playing the game. He wants to know where we are. And then Liu Kang just, I don't know, but what if?
and then we cut off the line there. I like this shot though. Of the beach, because we see more of like the variety of the combatants as they're coming through, and I like their luggage choices as well. A lot of just handbags, like gym equipment bags almost.
Yeah,
I like the use of the pastels, very 90s bags. I found on the right portion of the screen there.
I did want to point out a very nice detail.
Ooh, lay it on me.
That if you didn't notice it before, maybe I'll bring it to your attention. But when it showed the long shot of all the boats in this minute, when they were coming up to the beach, you could see the three heroes. At least you see Liu Kang and you see Sonya Blade both get out of the boat. Okay, obviously, and they got out of the boat and it was in the water. Okay, so they were like knee deep in the water. Well, when they show the scene after Johnny Cage says, "Okay, I give up," what's going on, or right as he says it, there's like a quick long shot, and it shows Sonya Blade and Liu Kang, and their pants are wet to their thighs. Oh. And I know that doesn't sound like, of course they are, but like you have to understand, like in movie making magic, whatever you want to call it, generally it usually isn't the scene right after. Like there's usually, maybe in between. So I'm guessing that was the scene right after, and they just stayed with the way they would look, and it was fine. But I like that just because that's a detail that you wouldn't normally see. Obviously, Johnny Cage is dripping wet, but those other two just have that, and of course. They don't have a bag.
Neither of them do. Yeah.
I'll point that out too.
And it looks like Liu Kang just lost his jacket. Like he had his jacket, but it's gone now.
He's like, I'm good without it.
And one final thing, I'm glad that you mentioned the detail, because there's one minor detail for movie buffs. So there's a minor inconsistency here where when Liu tells Sonya to check her compass, she leaves it open in that shot. But then right in the next shot, as she's walking away, the watch is closed.
Oh, a little jump cut. That's okay.
Yeah, we'll forgive him for that.
I will forgive
bonus points for the pants.
And for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, well, actually,
if you want to
now that I look at it, no, it's open, dude. You have to watch that again.
I'll put some money on it.
When she walks away, it's closed.
Yeah,
but when she talks to Johnny Cage, that okay, all right, I see.
When she's walking away, it's closed though. So that's the thing. Just a little nit to pick. Yeah, I would probably get like a note saying, "Oh, Phil, you missed this." No, I want to address it. So there you go, movie nerds.
I'll give it to you. Yeah, there you go. Well, cool. I would say that would probably end the minute, unless you got something else you want to add.
That does it for me. And thank you so much for listening. Once again, I'm Phil Casper.
I'm Spanish.
And we'll see you next time on the Mortal Kombat Minute.